Hello, I'm Susan Woods of Susan Woods Nonprofit Solutions. Thank you very much for selecting this very short nonprofit class in our very short nonprofit classes series. We are still continuing to talk about how to start 501c3 nonprofit organizations step by step. In this class, which is step 6, you will learn how to write quantitative goals. Quantitative goals provide the measurable outputs established as a target to complete the program services. An example of a quantitative goal is ABC organization plans to enroll 20 students in the summer reading program. The students in the summer reading program will earn at least 80% on their exit tests. So take a moment just to read those examples, and then we will talk about the outputs that are in those examples that determine the quantitative goals. Now remember in the last class we talked about qualitative objectives. Qualitative objectives measure behavioral changes in the people who complete your program services, and they are called outcomes. Quantitative goals measure the outputs established as a target to complete the program services. So whenever you are writing your quantitative goals, make sure that they are realistic. Make sure that they are goals that you can meet based on the people that you have in your organization to provide those services. An example here, ABC organization plans to enroll how many students? 20 in the summer reading program. That sounds feasible if you have a very small staff, because the purpose of creating goals is to determine at the end of that summer program whether or not you enrolled 20 students. Grant funders and other investors look at quantitative goals to determine the feasibility of those goals. And if they feel that they are feasible, then they will invest money in your organization in order to help you achieve those goals. But if you said ABC organization plans to enroll 500 students in the summer reading program, and then they look at your program description and they see that you only have 4 people employed, they know that is not feasible, and therefore they will not give you money. Nobody is going to invest money in a failing organization or an organization that has goals that are not reasonable. Some people make the mistake in believing that if you say you're going to achieve a lot, or if you set your goals at 500 students in a summer program, that looks better. No, it looks worse, because it says that you are not in a good position to write quantitative goals accurately. The next goal is the students in the summer reading program will earn at least 80% on their exit test. You notice they didn't say they will earn at least 100. They will have a perfect score. Again, because it's not reasonable. You want to be reasonable so that people will invest in what you're doing. There is absolutely nothing wrong with saying that they will earn at least 80% on their exit test. That's perfectly fine. And it shows that you know how to write quantitative goals. And one more point, going back to the first example, ABC organization plans to enroll. You notice the word enroll? It didn't say plan to graduate 20 students, plans to enroll 20 students. That's a whole different measurement, enrolling and graduating, because you may have some students who will not graduate from the reading program. So you don't want to set yourself up for failure. Once again, be very careful in how you write quantitative goals, because you will be held accountable for meeting those goals. As I mentioned before, I complete the 501c3 application packet for people who are interested in starting 501c3 nonprofit organizations. One of the things I have to include in the 501c3 packet is quantitative goals. So I have to be able to determine the appropriate quantitative goals for my clients who are interested in starting a 501c3 nonprofit organization and write those goals accordingly. On the next few slides, I will explain my qualifications to help you get your 501c3 application packet. I have a 100% approval rating from the Internal Revenue Service since 2010. So once you listen to me explain my credentials, my experience, my background on the next few slides, I hope that you will give me an opportunity to work with you to get your 501c3 established so you can do great work in the community. Again, my name is Susan Woods, and just a little bit of background information about me. In the beginning of my venture into the nonprofit sector, I started a 501c3 nonprofit organization in 2003 and officially incorporated it in 2006. I operated two programs under that nonprofit organization, which is called Comprehensive Community-Based Solution, for 10 years. I believe in lifelong learning. Continuing education in the nonprofit sector is very, very important. Therefore, I have earned nonprofit management certificates from Duke University, Wake Forest University, and Winthrop University. Excuse me. I also have 3 degrees from Winthrop University. I have a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration, a Master of Arts in Teaching Business Education, and a Master of Business Administration degree or MBA. I love teaching. Through my teaching, I help nonprofit professionals start, fund, manage, sustain, and reinstate 501c3 nonprofit organizations by facilitating traditional classes and by providing self-paced online classes. Consulting. However, my specialty, what I really, really enjoy doing, is completing the Form 1023 application packet for clients across the United States. And thus far, I have earned a 100% approval rating from the Internal Revenue Service. Again, this is something that I really enjoy because it allows me to help people establish 501c3 nonprofit organizations across the United States in order to provide unique and very much needed services in the communities served. Let me elaborate a little bit more on why I believe you should hire me to complete your 501c3 nonprofit application packet. The first thing I do that I believe is unique is I have a mandatory requirement for us to talk during a 1-hour phone consultation. During this consultation, I take the opportunity to listen to you explain your vision to me while I write notes. And as I write notes, I am determining whether or not your vision falls within one of the 8 purposes the IRS requires to be considered for 501c3 status. I provide a contractual agreement. In this agreement, I outline all of the tasks that I complete for you as my client to earn 501c3 status. At the bottom of the contractual agreement is a PayPal link for you to process the very economical $1,000 service fee that I charge to complete the 501c3 application packet for you from beginning to end. After you process the $1,000 service fee, then I send you an application completion timeline. This timeline outlines dates that you should expect to receive different documents from me. For example, I may have a date that you're going to receive the first document, the bylaws, on June the 5th. And then also in a timeline, I have a date in which I would expect to receive feedback from you regarding the document. So if I send you the bylaws on June 5th, then I may expect for you to send me your feedback by June 8th. So again, the application completion timeline just lists a series of dates in which I will send you documents and in which I would expect feedback from you. Now, the list of documents that I complete for you from scratch are going to be listed now in the brown bold font that you see here. So the first document that I send or create for you or generate for you is called the Employer Identification Number, or EIN letter. All nonprofit organizations must have an EIN letter included in their application packet to be considered for 501c3 status, and I generate that EIN letter on your behalf. The second document that I complete for you from scratch um, is the bylaws. I'll create the bylaws from scratch for you because the bylaws are going to govern the operation of your nonprofit organization. So it has to be specifically created for you for your nonprofit organization. The narrative description of activities. This is a document that I create from scratch to outline all of the steps or all of the things that you are planning to do in your community. It explicitly outlines or describes all of the activities that you're going to provide through your program services that are going to enhance the community and help people that you serve reach their full potential. And then you have the conflict of interest policy. The conflict of interest policy is a document that I complete for you that assures the IRS that you are creating this nonprofit organization for the benefit of the community, and that you're not creating this nonprofit organization to benefit you in a dishonest manner. The fundraising activities description is a document that I create for you from scratch that outlines the different fundraising activities that you will use to generate revenues to support your organization. I will outline whether or not you're going to use social media strategies, traditional fundraising strategies, or a combination of both. The financial data report outlines the revenues and expenses that you will incur, the revenues that you would generate rather, and the expenses that you would incur in order to operate your 501c3 nonprofit organization successfully. So I create the financial data report for you based upon the information that you shared and that I included in a narrative description of activities. Then I complete the Form 1023 application for recognition of exemption, and this is the official form that the IRS requires all nonprofit organizations to complete. It includes 28 pages of information that needs to be completed, and I complete that application for you. This application also requires that we include all of the documents that I have listed above: the employer identification number letter, the bylaws, the narrative description of activities, the conflict of interest policy, the fundraising activities description, the financial data report. All of those documents go along with the Form 1023 application for recognition of exemption as attachments, which is why I describe the application packet as a packet, because it includes different documents. I also filed the Articles of Incorporation for you. All 501c3 nonprofit organizations must file their Articles of Incorporation with the Secretary of State office in the state in which they plan to operate. Now, this is a totally different application process because it's one that is on the state level. I complete the application for you with the Secretary of State's office to file your Articles of Incorporation. Now, this again is a separate application process that I complete at no additional charge. Once your articles of incorporation are approved by the Secretary of State's office, then they are considered as filed, and they will have a stamp of approval with the date on it. Then we file, or we include, the filed articles of incorporation document in your application packet, which is a requirement for approval. Now, as I mentioned before, I will send you an application completion timeline that will document the dates in which you can expect to receive all of the documents I have listed here in the brown bold font. We will collaborate. We will work together. When I send you a document, you will have a date in which to provide feedback for me. And once you provide the feedback, I will make the revisions. You will be able to receive up to 3 revisions per document at no additional charge. Now that's astonishing when you think about the fact that there are going to be several documents that I'm completing for you, and I'm willing to do up to 3 revisions per document. That's a lot of collaboration and a lot of work. And it's something that I certainly do not mind doing. It's something that I'm honored to do because I want you to be happy with your documents. I want you to be proud of the documents that I create for you and pleased that the documents meet your expectations before we send them to the IRS for review and approval. Once you have approved all of the documents and you are very happy with the way the documents look and you are proud to send the documents to the IRS and ready for them to review for approval, then I prepare all of the documents, I print them up for you, and I place them in the application packet. Now the documents are going to be written for you in a way in which they are visually appealing. I use a certain font style, a certain font size. I use margins that provide the white space on the page to make the information easy to read. I use line spacing that makes the information easy to read. On the top left corner of every document, I have the header that it tells the exemption specialist which document it is that they're reading. And I also have on the bottom right corner of every document the page numbers so the exemption specialist can go through the documents with ease and know exactly what they're doing and making sure the documents flow smoothly as they read the information. So it's very important to have a visually appealing application packet to make the exemption specialist more apt to want to read your information than they would otherwise. After I have mailed the application packet to you, then you would attach a $600 certified check made payable to the Internal Revenue Service, and you would send the check and the application packet to the IRS using the address that I provide for you. Once the application packet has been received by the IRS, then you will receive an acknowledgement letter from the IRS letting you know that your application packet has been received and the next steps that you can expect for the IRS to take. Now, the IRS requests a 6-month time frame in order to process an application packet. During that time frame, you may receive a letter. You will not receive a phone call and you will not receive an email, but you may receive a letter requesting additional information regarding the information that you sent in. As a part of my free services, I will follow up on the additional information the IRS representative requests of you. Most of my clients just simply let me know that they've received a letter from the IRS requesting additional information or clarification on some of the information that was included in the application packet. Then I follow up directly with the exemption specialist that's named in the letter. I will either call them directly and let them know that I'm calling on your behalf to resolve any issues or answer any questions, or I will create the documentation that is required. And again, this is at no additional fee. And I don't know of any consultant who would do this level of work at no additional fee without charging extra, but I don't do that. I follow up on your behalf and I resolve any issues and answer all questions that are required. And finally, after all of the issues are resolved and the questions are answered, then you will receive a determination letter, which is also known as the approval letter from the IRS, letting you know that you have been approved or your nonprofit organization has been approved to provide services in the community as a 501c3 nonprofit organization, which allows you to generate revenues, tax-deductible revenues from different sources: grant writing, fundraising activities, individual investments. These are tax-deductible donations or investments or revenue generation strategies that I should call them officially. These are tax-deductible revenue generation strategies that you can use to raise money for your organization. The second half of the benefit of that, of receiving a determination letter, is that the people who give you money can write it off as a tax-deductible donation on their side. So the two sides of benefits to having a determination letter from the IRS that provides 501c3 status. So these are the reasons why you should hire Susan Woods, myself, to complete your application packet. I provide a very good service, and like I said, since 2010, I have earned a 100% approval rating from the IRS, and this means that all of my clients have their 501c3 status. and they're doing great work in the communities they serve in the United States, and some of them even provide services in other countries. So, reserve your consultation. Go ahead and reserve your consultation. Go to www.asksusanwoods.com, click on the reserve consultation link, and reserve your consultation. Once you click on the link, you will receive a calendar that shows the availability of appointments for consultations. I facilitate consultations on Monday through Thursday evenings from 7 p.m. until 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's Monday through Thursday evenings from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The cost of the consultation is $20. However, if you hire me to do your application packet, the $20 consultation fee will be refunded to you. So go ahead, go to www.asksusanwoods.com, click on the Reserve Consultation tab or link, and reserve your consultation so we can get started in helping you make a difference in your community. Again, I am Susan Woods of Susan Woods Nonprofit Solutions. Thank you so much for selecting this very short video class to teach you how to write a vision statement and also to teach you or to share with you how I provide excellent services for people who want to start 501c3 nonprofit organizations. Thank you and have a fantastic day.